me and my voice, I send shockwaves through Washington, D.C., because no one ever does that. They usually show up there and they learn the ways of the swamp instead of keeping who they are and continuing forward trying to change it. And I refuse to fall in line. I refuse to do things the way they do them in Washington, D.C., because I see it as completely broken. And I don't trust our federal government. I don't like how it's running. It's not running. It's falling apart. It's completely failing. It's like a broken business that almost went out of business yesterday, but until Republicans went along with Democrats and floated it another loan by the taxpayers. America first. America first, all the way. That is the mission. That's the only mission. We have to stop this global thinking, this global economy, globalism, that somehow we're all part of one world, right? And that's what they want. They want the one world government. These are things that people used to whisper about, but actually it's becoming a reality because this is what they want. They want us to depend on China for our supplies. They want us to depend on China to drive a car with their batteries for electric vehicles. They want us to depend on China for everything, basically. We have to refuse it. We have to say our tax dollars is the money that we make that goes to the government. That government has to work for the American people. So we have to take a customer service approach and demand it from our government. I'm seeing the same lie used over and over again. It's the lie that they use to divide us. They divide us by our skin color. They divide us by our identity in every single way, whether it's our gender or what people want to be sexually. They divide us in all these ways, and that is wrong. You got the media. The media is Democrat activists owned by Democrat donors that own the media companies. You have Biden's Department of Justice. You have Biden's FBI and Biden's controlled federal government. But really, that is a small percent of people in this country. And then you have the American people, the vast amount of people. And so people need to be brave. People need to know how to say no. We grew up believing something, and that was believing that we're all equal and that we have to all accept each other and be happy and be friends and work together. And that's the way I've always lived my life. And that's the way we need to continue to live our lives. We need to refuse to accept their lie that we're different somehow just because I may have freckles and whiter skin and you have darker skin, or you're a man and I'm a woman. So what we have to do is we have to stop being separated and refuse to accept it, because that is their lie meant to divide us, to tear us apart and tear us down. And how we can do this is just continue to push forward. We just say absolutely not. We're not going to put up with it. We aren't going to do this. We're going to live our life our way. While the Democrats and Joe Biden are forcing people to be fired from their jobs and people to quit because of their tyrannical vaccine mandates, Congress can't get their act together because they can't figure out how to make a budget that doesn't put Americans in debt and Americans to be forced into slavery for energy to China. And so we just have to stand up against them. We have to join people together. Everybody that's here should have each other's phone numbers. Everybody that's here should build a network together. It's like ridiculous not to, because there may come a point where they try to separate everyone. This should be a networking event. It should be organizing people to take action, because the left has been taking action for decades. That's why we're losing. We have to get our side to understand how to be activists and not people that sit around and complain about being canceled on social media. I'm just going every single day and continuing to say and try to do everything that I know any normal person would do if they were in my role. You know, while your business is closed down and our economy was shut down and our border is wide open and they abandoned Americans in Afghanistan, armed the Taliban, and got 13 innocent soldiers killed for absolutely no reason, Nancy Pelosi and the rest of the Democrats want us to be here in Washington to vote to raise the debt ceiling. That's because they don't know how to balance a checkbook and they only know how to keep America in debt. Everything Congress is doing is hurting the American people. Well, Nancy Pelosi came in, put the House in recess so that I couldn't make a motion to adjourn and so that no one else could even give a 1-minute speech. That's how bad Nancy Pelosi is. She's the most failed leader, the worst Speaker of the House in American history. We need to send Nancy Pelosi back home. She's been here long enough.